Hello and warm welcome to you today. Another beautiful day for us to sit, have a good discussion on Newsband. My name is Lydia Odrada, and of course, it's another time when we want to know, we want to see how we've come, and of course, where we're heading as a nation and as a people. Remember, you can follow us on our social media handles on Instagram, Facebook, and of course, subscribe to our YouTube channels so we give you the information as it drops. Okay, so today we're having a media chit chat with fans of Peter Obi, one of the presidential candidates for 2023 general elections. Okay, so we all know that the candidates aspiring to become president come 2023, they have been going round, of course, delivering the manifestos and visiting, touring Nigeria to vie for this position, ask for support from delegates from different regions. And one of such candidates is Mr. Peter Obi, who's within the week and in the week past been traveling. He's visited the north and, of course, some states in the south, Calabar to be precise. He's gone to Calabar, and we're hoping that in the coming week he'll go across every part of the country, seeking for support from delegates. And that's why today we'll be having this discussion section, which we've titled Media Chat with Fans of Peter Obi. Are you a Peter Obi fan? Well, the room is open for you today to answer questions and, of course, give your contributions like we do. We'll hit the road and get running with a conversation, and then we'll leave the floor open for you to ask your questions, for you to make your contributions. So, dear, on the flip side, you on Instagram, on Facebook, and on YouTube, you can be a part of the show. Okay, once again, you're welcome. And to have this conversation, we've got some people right here with us. And just before we come with the questions, we'll look at the man Peter Obi. How did he start his political journey? Okay, a quick look. His political journey started in 2003 when he contested for governorship as the governor of Anambra State, and his opponent got the seat, that is Chris Ngige. However, 3 years into that victory, the tables turned as appeal court ruled in his favor. Obi became the governor in March 2006. And of course, he got re-elected and continued to rule as the governor of Anambra State up until 2010. In 2019, he ran alongside Mr. Atiku Abubakar as the vice president from the PDP, People's Democratic Party, that is the PDP. And currently, he is running the race to become the president of Nigeria come 2023. Now, we'll be looking at this man, how far he's come. Do we have the confidence that he can deliver, that he can become the next president of Nigeria? What do we see? Do we see a man that be different, without do differently from every other politician that we've had in the past? Okay, so we'll have Mr. Emeka in the house right here, and we also have Theodore Anadum. Okay, so we'll be taking some questions, and of course we'll also get contributions for you. Okay, so quickly, Mr. Theodore, please, you might want to unmute yourself and give us a quick look of your name, and also tell us about the man Peter Obi, your confidence in him. Can you hear me? Please, I'll ask that you unmute yourself. Can you hear me? Okay, so we've got one of our guests also, Mrs. Lovett, who's in the room. Mrs.
Can we
Lovett,
all
can you?
talk at random?
No, you won't talk at random. Of course, you'd get called. Is that Mr. Theodore, please? Okay, I'll ask the next person. Mrs. Lovett, please unmute yourself. Can you hear me, Mrs. Lovett? Okay, I'll ask for you to unmute yourself. So I'm going to send a request for you to unmute yourself. Okay, so you should get the request for you to unmute yourself, Mrs. Lovett, and make your submission.
I can hear you clearly. I'm with you already.
Okay, okay. So we looked at the man Peter Obi, and of course we're having a media chat on Mr. Peter Obi, and you're a fan of Mr. Peter Obi. What's the reason behind your confidence in Mr. Peter Obi?
My reasons are so many.
Hmm.
So many reasons. I can't even name them.
Wow.
The man Obi, I've known him for several years, and I watched him while he was the governor of Anambra State. The things he did in Anambra, I can't count. There are so many. I was actually a fan, but after some time, I started following up, and I got to know that wow, Obi is the man. He's a nice man. He's a very good man. I don't even know where to start from actually.
You said at some point you started following. At what point exactly did you start following the man Peter Obi?
That should be 20. Oh, sorry. I can't remember the actual year, but it's some years. Actually, when he was the governor of Anambra State.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly.
Okay, what exactly about Mr. Peter Obi is it that caught your attention that made you want to follow this man, support him to become the president of Nigeria?
Actually, in those days when I traveled to Lagos, I'm from Imo State actually. I'm not from Anambra State. In
Okay.
those days when I used to travel to Lagos by road.
Mhm.
Before you can pass that upper Iweka bridge, you can stay for like 2 hours before you pass that Iweka bridge. But by the time he became the governor of Anambra State, wow. If I'm traveling to Lagos, I'll be so happy because I know that it won't be like before that you stay like 2, 3 hours. What he did on that road is more than I can explain. So
Oh,
that was because I know what I passed through before then. So I started liking the man and started following him.
okay,
That's
so
one of
for
the
you,
reasons.
road, when he walked on the road that your heart turned towards him and you wanted to be a great supporter and a fan of Mr. Peter Obi. So I'd quickly ask, do you know Mr. Peter Obi in person?
Not at all. I've never met him. I don't know him in person.
Hmm. So now here's the one big question, because we all know that politicians sometimes or oftentimes do make promises, and then when they be elected, when they get to the seat, they don't deliver on the promises, or they don't keep the promises. And I need to say they seem to forget about the promises. Now, Peter Obi is vying to become the president. Do you think when he's elected eventually, if he wins, do you think that he would keep his promises and Nigerians can have a different taste?
100%. I'm
Hmm.
100% sure he will keep his promises.
Okay, so now that you've
Another
looked,
another thing is this, sorry.
okay,
When I have a family that stays in Onitsha, Anambra State precisely, and the place is called Atani Road. No, sorry. The place they call it oh God, forgetting the name of the street again.
okay,
Internansa, that's exactly the name of the street in Onitsha. Internansa Street off Oboduku Road. So before then, that Atani Road was nothing to write home about. I am not saying it because of anything. It was nothing to. So apart from the Atani Road that he fixed, at the back of it, there's another place they call then the main Atani Road. If you're coming to Owerri and getting into Onitsha now, You don't need to get into the Opiweka axis. You don't need to get into the Oriental main town. There's another road that he fixed there. You can pass through that inner road and get to the place, the tenants and street easily. While people are still waiting on the road to get into the main town, you can easily pass through that Atani road and get into the town. And I have a friend that doesn't like to hear about Onitsha. But the first time he followed me through that road, wow, he never believed he can go to Onitsha and feel so free and feel so comfortable. He was like, ah, that town, I can't enter it. But now he's so proud of the man.
Look at this point, but we're hoping that she will get her back on track. Okay, so I'll quickly give them comments that's dropping. His competence and transparency in managing public funds. Peter is a man of his word. He had proven that in the past in person, but his good works speak for him. Okay, that's coming from Chinwe. Okay, thank you very much, Chinwe. And we have a hand that's raised here. This is from Francis Okoye. Francis, please unmute yourself and make your submission. Love it, we can hear you. I wouldn't know if the noise is coming from Love it or Vivian. Please kindly mute yourself, but because we can't hear you.
I'm
Can
here
you hear
with
me?
you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good evening. I'm Francis. I'm in Anambra State currently.
Okay,
Hello, can you hear me?
we can hear you.
Can hear you
Okay,
clearly.
so not much of a Peter Obi supporter. But because I'm in Anambra State, we have another party like Apuga is in this, and I'm actually a current member of Apuga. But I just joined to like tell you guys that the man Peter Obi is actually what he says he is. Because I could remember when I was in primary school, through my secondary school, I went to St. Joseph Nursery and Primary School, Nemo. I could remember when he came to our school, asking the pupils there the problem they had, Then when I entered my JSS1 at Dance International College, he also came. He gave us a school bus, gave us generator sets, I think dug a borehole for us to equipped our laboratory, our library. Like he did a whole lot of things. Computers, gave the school computers. That was the time he donated 5 million naira for something in our school then. So later, I changed school to St. Mary's High School. If you don't know, it's actually a government school. Our classroom was nothing to write home about. Once it rains, the whole class becomes flooded. The whole school was in a mess. Understand? I could remember he came to our school twice, and he dug borehole. He gave us 2 school buses. He equipped our library. He did all sorts of things. And what it's remarkable was anytime he comes, he doesn't go to the staff room. He kind of probably has the phone number of the senior prefect. So once he comes, it's like he contacts the senior prefect first before now the senior prefect will now take him to the principal's office, then staff room, then he will now talk to the students. And he likes getting feedback from the students directly, because sometimes how parents and how teachers are, they always try to portray their school in good light, but you always come to the students directly and start asking us, okay, how is your food? For those that are boarders, because for me, I was a day student there. For those that were boarders, how is your food? How is your accommodation? How is everything? Do you have water? How is your convenient room? That is the toilet. How is it? How is the general? Are you people safe? How do your teachers treat you? These are the questions that you ask. How is your academics? How are you faring? Like, is the environment conducive for you people? These are the questions he asks. And there is never for one day he told us he's going to do something that he did not do. Are you hearing me?
Very clear.
Yeah. So, and a whole lot of things. When I went to ICICU Muchuku, the same thing. We didn't have a school bus. He provided one. We didn't have a borehole. He gave our principal money for to dig a borehole. We didn't have fence. He also fenced our school. Like a whole lot of things. Now, this is in the academic sector. Now, when it comes to, if you know Anambra State very well, when he became the governor, Anambra State kind of does not have a secretariat, though they have one building at the Secretariat Road. But you know, a state having a building as a secretariat, it couldn't contain all the ministries. So he came in and built a secretariat for the state. The high court that is in Anambra State, he was the person that built it. He standardized so many routes, even the Enugu Onitsha road, that is the old road from Enugu to Onitsha. He was the person that reconstructed it from Onitsha to Amansi. That is the boundary between Enugu and Anambra. That is Amansi. He was the person that reconstructed and expanded the road and solidified the whole thing. And I could remember then there was a building that was standing at the Ekok roundabout that always causes a gridlock there. He came in, talked to the man. I could remember then the man didn't want to oblige and he removed the building. Now, though we still normally have small gridlock there, but at least it helped. He expanded the road, you know, he did so many things. So I feel that when he becomes the president, if he's given a chance, he's going, and everything he said in his campaign when he was running for governor, he achieved every single one of them. He did not miss anyone. In fact, he did more. Did I talk of, the security vans he gave to, if this vigilante group said that I think he was the person that actually brought them to light, gave them vehicles and started giving them encouragement. And that was how he fought insecurity. Because I could remember growing up, there was a time that almost every day we used to hear of bank robbery, almost every day. Because the place I live is kind of very close to the main road. That is the Enugu Onitsha Old Road. So most times, probably in a week, you might hear 2 or 3 cases of bank robbery. But when he became the governor, after 1.5 years, the thing reduced. Then towards the end of his tenure as the governor, the thing stopped. Like till today, I don't think since he left office, they have actually had anything like bank robbery in Anambra State since he left office. I'm not sure. So he did a whole lot of it. Is it the Kennedy State Library he built? Is it the water, this thing that he did in Udoka Housing Estate? The borehole that he dug there for the people that couldn't afford to dig this borehole stuff. That he did so many things. Is it the farming revolution he spearheaded in Anakodem? That's the riverine area of Anambra State, the people that actually feed Anambra State, that gave birth to Omor. So this Anambra rice, this popular Anambra rice that everybody is now celebrating today, it was his brainchild. And I'm not much of a Peter Obi supporter, but I think in this country, given what this country has been through these years, I think somebody that has a good track record, has the character, has the ability, has the vision, should be given a chance. Me, I have decided that I'm going to campaign for him. Whether I don't know if he doesn't know me, though I've been in some places that he came for a function, and he's very simple. Most times he enters in an environment, in a place, you don't even know he's there. I could remember when a friend of mine was celebrating 25 years Presley anniversary. He was in the church, but nobody knew. It was when he was about leaving that somebody saw him from the altar and recognized him. He's very, very, very. I could also remember there was a place I went for a burial. He literally passed me, like he walked past me. I didn't know it was him. It was when, after some minutes, my friend touched me. I was like, that guy was Peter Obi. I was like, where is he? He said he just passed. I was like, wow, but I don't
You
know.
see,
And he doesn't move,
so
even as governor, he did not move with siren. So that, like, if you leave, I can go on and on and on and on and on and tell you things he did, the promises he kept, and also, for the want of time,
mm.
I just feel that we should start doing the right thing in this country.
Okay, now a quick question. Okay, so I have this hands
Okay,
up.
I can hear you.
To speak, but a quick question to Mr. Francis Okoye. What would be your expectation of a man whom you've got so much very good hopes on because of
I can't
his
hear you. I
past?
can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Hello? I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. So the question is, for a man whom you've got so much, is a whole lot of stories about him and how good his leadership was in Anambra State. What would be your expectation of this man if he becomes the president of Nigeria?
Nothing short of excellence. Like I've known him these years, and he have always said what. And the funny thing about Peter Obi is, if he does something and you tell him, you say something he did not do, he will come out openly and tell you, I did not do this, see what I did. Because I could remember an incident that occurred in a school that we went to. He came up, they started praising him, and he took the mic and told the congregation that CEO did not do all these things, that he just gave them generator. That is the only thing that he did. That all these things that saying he does not do. So for me, it's nothing short of excellence, and I believe strongly that it's going to deliver.
Okay, nothing short of excellence. Let's quickly hear Nisband, because you've got your hand up. And of course, we also have some contributions in the comment section.
Francis, I want to ask this question. Mr. Obi has claimed that when he was the governor of Anambra State, that every secondary school prefect had his phone number and had access to him. And have just told us that you said that you were in secondary school when he was the governor, right?
Yeah.
Is that claim correct?
Yeah, 100%. 100.
Well,
like if there is something like 200%, it's very, very correct. I also have a friend of mine that is in law school now. I don't know for the anonymous. Let me not call his name. He was a deputy senior prefect when he was in secondary school. He had Peter Obi's number even till today. He's in law school now, so it's very, very correct. Hello?
Are you there? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me, Mr. Francis?
I got you. P2B also. Well, I think you have answered that. The other person wanted to ask that every second Anambra State receives Peter and general from him when he was the governor.
Yeah, that's true. Some schools received 2 school buses. Some, because I think he did it in 3 batches: the first batch, second batch, and the third batch. Then the third batch he gave to schools. Probably the schools he gave to the first set of schools, probably their bus have started damaging or something. So he gave them, because there is this school I know in Ezioka Community Secondary School. They got 2 buses. So some secondary schools got 2.
Records, what is the name of secondary school attended again?
St. Mary's High School, if they do.
Okay.
Actually, all the
That's
secondary schools I went to received a bus from him, because I went to like 3 different secondary schools in Anambra State.
Are you able to tell us the other 2?
Huh?
Are you able to tell us the names of the other?
Trans International College, Oka, Immaculate Conception International College, Umuchukwu. Then St. Mary's High School, if they do.
That will be all from me. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Francis. But just before we let you off the hook, you said so much about Mr. Peter Obi and the schools, the effect on schools during his time as a governor of Anambra State. What was it like for job seekers? Did he make jobs available? What do you have to say on that?
Well, I wouldn't know much about that because then when he was governor, I was just in secondary school, so I I wouldn't know much about that. But well, if there are civil servants that are here that were around that time, they might probably give you the answer because then I was a secondary school student, so I can't attest to that.
Okay,
Hello?
thank you so much, Francis. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, now let's quickly look at something that might sound to you as, oh, I know the first thing that is, no, this can't be. Okay, but let's just assume that Peter Obi becomes the president and does not deliver on his promises. As an individual, what will you do? Or what will be your reaction?
Well, like I said before, I'm not a much of a P2B supporter. If he fails on his promises, I will be the number one person to campaign against him because obviously he's going to seek for second term.
Hmm. You'd be the first to campaign against him. Okay, we had him. Let's quickly take the comments in the comment section. This is from Don Dave. Don Dave says, they say the best way of predicting the future is to study the past. Peter Obi is the only former governor in Nigeria with absolutely no corruption case to answer. Therefore, testimonies here alone are enough evidence for us to predict the president in Peter Obi. Thank you very much, Don Dave. Okay, so leave the floor open for comments, for submissions, and of course questions. Okay, Mrs. Lovett, are you still here? You were saying something. Eventually, we lost track. We couldn't hear you at some point. So you'd have the floor right now. If you can hear me, Mrs. Lovett. I'll ask for you to unmute yourself and finish your submission.
I was actually talking about the road that leads to a place they call Atani Road that he fixed. And during his campaign period, I was opportune to be in Anambra. Can you hear me?
Very clear.
During his campaign period, I was opportune to be in my uncle's house in Anambra. And the wife was always jumping up once she sees Peter Obi campaign on television. I was like, what's so special about this man? She was just saying, everybody loves this man, everybody loves this man. Then she was not telling me about that at any road, that if he manages to fix that road, they will never forget him. So when I left after then, coming back later, she was the first person that told me that the road has been fixed. Then when I used the road, the first and second time, I was very happy. I told you I didn't need to go into Onitsha main town while going to my uncle's house. I had to pass through that road, and it's the easiest way from getting into the town of Anambra. Precisely the place they stay. Yeah, I told you they call. I forgot Itenansa. It's one of the interior places in Anambra State. That's where my uncle stays. So it's easy for you to enter the road, go to that place through that attorney. You don't need to enter into the Onitsha main town. Just like now that they're doing this Asaba bridge, you don't need to reach there to meet the gridlock there. You just pass through that attorney road. 2 days ago, she was around. She came into town. So when they left, about 2 hours later, no, it wasn't even after about up to 2 hours. I called her and I asked her where she was. She said she's almost entering the house. It wouldn't have been easy if she has passed through that Asaba bridge they're putting up now. So all these things are part of the makings of Ompa, as we fondly call him over here.
Okay, so now let's assume that Mr. Peter Obi becomes the president of Nigeria. What's the first thing, the first Nigerian problem that you'd expect that he fixes or he looks into?
Insecurity. Insecurity.
Okay, so
My family overseas, we are supposed to have been here before now, but all of them are scared of coming back home, especially to the east here. If we would, I believe if he promises us he will take care of the insecurity, he actually will do it. That's the first thing I want him to look into, insecurity.
okay. Okay, so now let's look at the fact that he said in 4 years he would fix Nigeria's many problems. Okay, so let's assume that he becomes the president. Do you think he has the capacity to fix Nigeria's problems in 4 years?
Yes, I think so. He has the ability to do it, though not alone. He will need the help of the security operatives to help him do it, because he alone, as a as a president to be, cannot do it alone. He will need the support of every Nigerian, especially the security agencies, to help him achieve this goal.
Okay, you said he can't do it alone. You said he cannot
Yes.
alone, of course, this is very true. What are some of the challenges you do feel he would face in handling the insecurity you did mention?
Our security agencies are not doing so well. Look at what just happened in the north. It's not as if there's no security over there, but they are scared of doing their jobs well. And if they don't help the president or whoever is on seat to work, to fish out the people that have committed all these crimes, it will not be that easy to achieve it. Because being the president of a country, you cannot be the one that will also go and do fight the insecurity. He can only give directives. But if the security authorities don't help him, he won't achieve this goal. He would achieve it only by the help of the security agencies working in unity with him. That's the way he can achieve this goal.
Mm,
He needs a lot of help from them.
okay. Peter Obi is that we have this hand up, but in a moment, Lloyd will be called upon to make his submission. Okay, so what would be your suggestion to Peter Obi and, of course, every support team working to make sure that Peter Obi becomes the president of Nigeria? What would be your contribution or your suggestion that would make this possible?
My contribution is very simple. I wish the PDP will give him the ticket. Everybody is yearning for Peter Obi. I am not trying to paint it, it's very true. Everybody, whether they are in PDP or they're in another party, everybody is, even today, the discussion we had today was let them just give him the ticket. And that is all we need. I've been telling everyone around me, please get your cards ready. I've been trying to get cards. I direct them on how to get their PVCs ready. That is what I think we can do to make, if the PDP will only give him the ticket, is an easy goal for us. We can achieve it easily without any stress.
Hmm. Thank you very much. So at this point, we'll call on Mr. Lloyd Ndulwe to make his submission. Mr. Lloyd, you have the floor. Please unmute yourself. Mr. Lloyd, are you there? Mr. Lloyd, kindly unmute yourself.
Uh, exactly. So I was saying you should unmute me. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for the wonderful meeting. I love the nice things our brother said about Peter B and what our sister said about the good roads and things like that. But to me, I don't care about any roads. I don't care about or be giving buses to any school. I don't care about generators. That is not what Nigeria needs now. Nigeria needs a paradigm shift. And that is, I think that's actually what Obi brings to the table. Paradigm shift. We need somebody who embodies humanity. What we lack in Sokoto is not roads. What we lack in Sokoto is humanity. You understand? So if we have somebody who actually, lives by those examples. I do not support every economic whatever of Peter Obi. People campaign for Peter Obi. They talk about him leaving 75 billion in Anambra State when he left. I actually see that as a very bad economic policy. You don't leave money in the coffers when there are still work to be done. I don't care about those things. Let's forget about those things for now. Those things are not what we need now. What we need now in Nigeria is a paradigm shift. When you have somebody sitting in Asha Rock and Sokoto is burning, we have not heard a statement from our government. Man, who cares about roads? Who cares about schools? When we have this paradigm shift,
Okay,
the
me too.
mindset changes, and when the mindset changes, every other thing falls into play. That is why we need Peter to be there. That is why we need somebody who actually understands that it's not all about him. Somebody who would be ready to sacrifice his ambition and let Nigeria move on. That is the reason why I would vote for Peter Obi. So I do not care about good roads. I do not care about election promises. I just like that character that Peter Obi is bringing to the table. That is exactly what Nigeria needs now. Our youth, they need to understand that being rich is not a goal in and of itself. Our people need to understand. They need to come to the realization that humanity is still important in our lives. And I think that is the major thing, and I see in Peter Obi that would make me do everything possible for him to become the president of Nigeria. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lloyd. A quick question. If Peter Obi becomes the president of Nigeria, what are the things that you'd be looking at getting from him, as apart from what you've just mentioned? And of course, you've said not just education. What other things will you be expecting? And do you think 4 years is enough for Peter Obi to fix Nigeria's many problems?
I think nobody can fix Nigeria's problem given 20 years. The problems, they didn't just crop up within the last 4 years. They didn't, the problems have been there over time. We've been talking about, economic policies and things like that. Man, we have illiterates leading us. We have very good experts, but nobody listens to them. Why? Because the mindset, the character is not there. Men, think about the fact that in any meeting in Nigeria, your status in the society counts more than what you have to offer in terms of, ideas and things like that. Think about being in a kind of meeting where you are the youngest and you have a very good opinion. Nobody listens to your opinion if you're young or if you're not well-to-do. But man, Peter B embodies that humility. He would listen to people who are the experts. And this is the this is the mindset I'm talking about. When we have somebody in there who lives by example, who creates a kind of enabling environment for these experts to bring their expertise to the table, then Nigeria would move on. Man, when we are talking about the central bank of Nigeria, the central bank governor of Nigeria, a sitting central bank governor, throwing his heart into the ring, candidacy to become the president of Nigeria. Man, 100 million naira, where did he get it from? By his basic salary. If he didn't spend his basic salary for the next 10 years, he wouldn't save 100 million naira. Where did he get it from? Nobody's asking those questions. Peter Obi would ask those questions. You understand? The mindset is the problem in Nigeria. We need somebody to get in there, set this thing straight. Somebody people would look up to, knowing that this person is of impeccable character. The moment we have somebody like that there, every other thing falls into play. I do not care about roads. I do not care about those, because all these things would come when the time comes. When the enabling environment is there, all these things would come. Foreign direct investment. Look at the foreign direct investment in Nigeria. It's been falling for the last couple of years. As a foreigner, you don't want to invest in Nigeria. I could remember that in 2021, I was having $6,000 in Nigeria that I wanted to, take out of Nigeria. I couldn't because EcoBank didn't have $6,000 to pay me. Money that I had in my account. So all these things are very simple, very, very simple things. We just need somebody who understands, somebody who could lead us to a paradigm shift, to a shift of our mindset. The moment it happens, every other thing would fall into play, and that is why I don't have a lot of expectations. I just want a shift in our way of thinking, and if it happens, if Obi achieves that, then he has won me.
Okay, if Obi achieves that, he has won you was the last comment. But let's look at the fact that Nigeria is a very big country, and we of course know that each individual has their own way of thinking, and of course how they live their lives and what they do, what decisions they take. What suggestions will you have to give to Mr. Peter Obi in achieving this? So how do you think he's going to achieve the paradigm shift that you hope for?
I remember vividly one big speech that John F. Kennedy gave when he told Americans, do not, look up to what America would do for you, but what you could do for America. You need somebody you trust to make that kind of speech for that to be impactful. You understand? So a lot of Americans, they still reference that particular sentence. These are things that come. Men, leaders, they don't have to be experts in every field. They don't, you have but the ability to bring those, ideas or those people together. When you lead companies, when you lead teams, there are bound to be difference of opinions. But man, there are ways you could bring these opinions together. You have to make everybody have the feeling at the end of the meeting that their opinions were heard and taken into consideration. And then you make your decision. So the way you live your life, you understand, would make people actually, see things with you. Most of the times, there are countries that have this prime minister system, and then they have a president that is ceremonial president. Like in Germany, you have the German president is just a ceremonial position. But in times of crisis, we need these people to come out and say some nice words. You understand? At the end of the day, you're going to have differences. But when these people come out, it goes a long way. Somebody like Obi, due to his character, due to the thing he brings to the table, he is that kind of person that could, talk to warring parties, and they would see that unites them instead of those things that divide them. And that is exactly what we need now. That is exactly what we need in Sokoto now as we speak. We need somebody to stand up and appeal to our better demons. I think Peter Obi would do that.
Okay, thank you very much for that one. But just before we let you off the hook, let's assume that Peter Obi becomes the president of Nigeria. Unfortunately, he doesn't deliver or meet your expectations as an individual. What will be your first call to action?
The thing is, actually, I tell people in every organization I am in, I so much believe that the leaders cannot lead without good followership. You understand? So what we are doing here now is, I love it so much because we organize. You see the P2B support network, you see in Genje Media, and you see all these people, what they are doing. That is organization. That is democracy at work. So leaders could get out of touch when you don't have followers, showing them the guardrails and things like that. Because, man, these guys, they are applying to be employed by us. So we hold them to account. They are going through their job interviews, telling us what they could do. So it is left for us to hold them to account. And I believe that is actually what we are doing now. And if we hold on to this platform that we have created, we have a lot of OB support network and all these platforms and all this. We can, if we can hold, that is democracy at work. So that could be actually an avenue to keep reminding him of the things that we expect of him, and I believe he is the kind of person that will listen. So I would do my best to keep reminding him of what Nigeria needs from him. And I am optimistic that he would lend us his ears. Yeah.
Thank you very much once again. Now, I've read someone say that Peter Obi is just so strict. Oh, I can't deal. He's a very strict man. Now, do you think that this would affect his achievements if he becomes a president? Because some people would see him in the negative light because he's being too strict because he wants result anyways. So he wants result, and the other man on the other side of the table is saying, no, this boss is just too strict. Now, how would you see this? Wouldn't it hamper his progress and of course the results that will be expected of Nigerians?
I think so, and that's politics. And I think he has to learn that. I understand that. I also see that. I see that intransigence sometimes, or maybe other months when it comes to, he has his positions, and then in politics there are the ways. You have your adversaries, you also have your, what I would call, let me say, enemies of progress. Let's put it this way, especially in Nigeria. But at the end of the day, if you want to get work done, if you want to get things done, you have to meet them halfway. You don't have to step on everything you stand for, but there is a way of doing things, you understand? And I believe Peter Obi could learn from those things, because if not, it could cost him the primaries, even before we even start talking about general elections, because you need to get these people on board. You need to speak to them in a language they understand, and I believe they are actually ready. Most of them now are tired of what is happening in Nigeria. Nobody feels safe anymore. And for you to unite Nigeria, to get those people again, those powers that be, for them to be happy in the Nigeria we all love, they need that kind of figure, that P2B figure that could unite Nigeria back. So, and I think when he speaks to them in that language they understand, I think they would fall on his side. But he needs to learn that. I think that's also a point where he could improve.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's quickly look at the comment section and see what's happening there. Okay, and this is from Odinaka. Odinaka says, hello team, I'm sorry if I break protocol. Don't really know what these charts sets to out to achieve. Is it a testimony kind of gathering? I guess he owes that Peter Obi's performance is very much in public domain for all to see and breathe. Researched upon. I suggest the discussion moves beyond testimonies to aggressive and closing strategies to make Peter Obi clinch the party ticket, which is the most important task at this point. I say this because if he does not get the PDP ticket, 1 million goodwill testimonials will just be an academic exercise. When we secure the ticket, more aggressive public relations and testimonials would even further pervade every space. And then we move on to the next. Could we have a frank discussion on Peter Obi presidential campaign tonight after this program at 10 p.m.? Okay, that's a question that needs answers. If you're on track and want this conversation at 10 p.m., please type in the comment section, yes, 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 and yes. Okay, and the conversation will hit at 10. That is in about a minute. Okay, so if you're in for the conversation at 10 o'clock, please kindly type in the comment section, yes, I'm in, yes, I'm in, or just yes. Any of the both will do just fine. Okay, let's see the first. This is a yes from Odinaka. Okay, Odinaka, thank you very much for that one. And of course, we're expecting more yes on the comment section. If you're just joining us on social media, on Facebook and Instagram, and of course on YouTube, this is Newsband. And we are here to discuss the man Peter Obi. It's a media chat with his fans. Are you his fans? Are you his fan? Are you a strong supporter of the man Peter Obi? What do you think? You have a contribution or submission? Go ahead and type in the comment section and it will be taken. So we have more yes dropping, or we see another one. Yes. Okay. A good see John Bosco. You had your hand up. If you are here, okay, Lovett said, I didn't get the question. I'll read the question out for you to understand. Just in a moment, please. The question is, could we have a frank discussion on Peter Obi presidential campaign tonight?
It's not a question. It's not a question. I'm simply people to be aware we'll have that frank discussion by 9 p.m., by 10 p.m.
Okay, there's a discussion at 10 p.m. on Peter Obi's presidential campaign tonight. That is, it's already 10 o'clock. So the conversation will start soon. Okay, so we have some more people joining on the yes and okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so I would like to say thank you very much.